I want to bring in now Hazel Thornton. She was a juror in Erik Menendez's first trial and is author of the book Hung Jury, the Diary of a Menendez Juror. Hazel, thank you for being with us on this historic night. First of all, your reaction to the news yesterday when Erik Menendez was denied parole.
It was disappointing, but not surprising. I had heard that it was unlikely that most people do not get approved the first time. So it would have been, amazing if he had been, but I knew that he was likely not to be.
What has this whole journey been like for you? I mean, to think that you were on the first jury more than 3 decades ago, and here we are now. That's got to just sort of be a crazy feeling.
It is. I sure never thought anybody would care what I had to say about it 30 years later.
Do you, and you know a lot about the case, obviously, and you sat on the jury, you heard everything the first time. Do you think there's a difference between Erik and Lyle in terms of whether or not one of them is more deserving of parole?
No, I think they are equally deserving of parole, and I think it would be terrible if one of them got it and the other one didn't. That said, if Lyle did get paroled sooner than Erik, maybe he could pave the way for him.
Did you always believe their story of abuse at the hands of their father?
I believed their story partly because they were convincing when they told their story, but also because of the dozens and dozens of family members and coaches and teachers who testified on their behalf in the first trial, and because of the testimony of several psychological witnesses who explained to us the psychology of abuse. There was a lot. It was a 5-month trial. People can't learn as much from a newspaper article 30 years later as they can sitting in the courtroom for 5 months.
Yeah, wow, I forgot that it was 5 months. Man, you were on that jury for 5 months. That's unbelievable. What do you think would have happened today, had this happened today and they were on trial today?
I think it wouldn't have needed to be a 5-month trial, and I think they would have been convicted of manslaughter, not murder, which is how half of both juries in the first trial voted.
Do you have, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but I think it's important because the commissioner said yesterday that this was really the reason that Erik did not get parole. And again, it goes back to his history in prison and the cell phones, the drugs, everything that I've mentioned. Does that bother you, Hazel? I mean, do you agree with the parole board that that's an issue?
I think they need to consider everything, but I don't think the public needs to know every little detail. And I think that what Carol had to say about, it was a long time ago, Erik has transformed. I think all of those things are true. And I think they're focusing way too much on cell phones. And I think they've lost track of the whole entire concept of imperfect self-defense. I think DA Hochman needs a refresher course on imperfect self-defense and the psychology of abuse.
Yeah, it's a fair point. One of the interesting things I thought that came out of yesterday was when they directly asked Erik, was it self-defense when you killed your parents? He said no, which is something different than what we've heard in the past, which stood out to me.
They never claimed it was
Hazel Thornton, I appreciate.
They never claimed it was self-defense.
Right. Maybe it's just all the documentaries and stuff. They make you, they make you think it was self, but it was just interesting to hear him say that.
Everybody needs to look up imperfect self-defense. It's a legal concept that is different from self-defense.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.